Hey Run Junkies! Determining the when, why, and how to hire a coach is a huge question for a lot of athletes. Anyone can hire a coach, but the question remains, at what point should you consider hiring a coach? You can hire a coach for a specific goal, say to improve your 10K time, to qualify for Boston, or even finish your first iron distance triathlon. But you might also hire a coach for long-term benefits. If you have long-term fitness goals, regardless of pace or race frequency, you might hire a coach to get you from one point to the next and beyond. In my experience, I've seen very few training plans get you past race day. What do you do to recover from that race and use that momentum for your next training period? That's how a coach can help you. Your goals are very different from anybody else's, so a coach can help you personalize those goals, not just in the short term, but also in the long term as well. Now, how do you determine what kind of coach you want? There are a lot of coaches out there with different philosophies on training, and you want to find the one that is right for you. When you go in to hire a coach, you are building a relationship. Think of it like dating. You want to make sure that you know what you want before you meet with a coach. Have clear goals and know your limits. Now, here are a few things to consider when hiring a coach. One of the major things you want to think about is gender. This may not seem like a big deal, but I have had a male coach. And there were a lot of female issues that this poor man just could not understand. So to alleviate some of that awkwardness, consider hiring a coach who has a better understanding of your gender-specific physiology and, probably more importantly, your psychology. Consider hiring someone with similar life experience. For example, as a mom, I might relate better to a coach who is also a mom. It's going to help you with that relationship building and that relatability. Another thing to consider is whether or not you are hiring for a short-term goal or longer term. Are you looking for a coach to get you to and through Boston or an Ironman distance race, or are you looking for long-term sustainability in your training? Having a coach get you to a race goal is one thing, but having a coach to get you beyond and into the next phase of your training is something else. Looking beyond the finish line to long-term goals is something that a coach can give you that a short-term training plan might not be able to do. Another thing to consider is price. I am not going to lie, hiring a coach is a budget line item, and so for that reason, it might limit your pool of potential coaching candidates. What can you afford and for how long? Expect to pay anywhere between $50 and maybe even over $200, depending on the coach's credentials, their client load, and your goals. Some coaches limit their client base so they can give you a more individualized attention, but that then might increase their price. Other coaches do very well by communicating via email or phone call once a week, maybe even once a month. When you hire a coach, they will have some expectations of you as well. You might have to start keeping better track of your training than you have been up to this point. Keeping a training log or a training journal is a really good way to keep in regular communication with your coach so they can keep tabs on how your training is going. You are paying them to evaluate your performance, good days and bad days alike. Be prepared to feel a little vulnerable, but no coach should belittle you or your efforts or make you feel bad about yourself or missed workouts or anything like that. They may ask you why you missed a workout or maybe even a whole week's worth of them, but their job is to get you back on track so you can get that momentum back. Coaches will gently talk you in off a ledge when you're feeling overwhelmed or tired or injured. They will also be able to find that silver lining on what you might think was a complete waste of time in terms of a workout. Coaches should be encouraging with the heart of a teacher, and you should feel comfortable asking questions of your coaches. So after all this talk about when and why you should consider hiring a coach, how do you even go about finding one? In the description below, I've linked to an active.com article detailing several different ways to find a coach, and I'm going to give you a few of those here. Go to your local run specialty store and ask the staff for recommendations. Wherever you go buy your shoes, your staff knows a lot of people to help point you in the right direction. Another great tip, find a training book. A lot of these training books will have plans in them designed by coaches. If you do a couple of these plans and decide you want to step it up a notch, you might consider hiring that coach. Books with training plans are also great resources because it's not just about the one coach that designs the plan. That coach has a network and a community of coaches around them to help them develop those plans. So it's a great place to go to kind of find other coaches within the walls of that book. Social media abounds with great running resources. Facebook pages are a really great place to go. LinkedIn, if you have a LinkedIn page. Also, review sites like Yelp are great places to start your coaching search. I say this with a caveat though. While one person over here on your Facebook page might love their coach, and we hope they do, that's the point, that's what they're paying them for, it may not be that that person is the right coach for you. Get the information from your friend, make the phone call, have an interview, and then you decide whether or not that coach is going to be right for you. If something doesn't sit well with you about that coach, there is no shame. You do not have to make a commitment. It is your hard-earned money, and you have the right to say thanks, but no thanks. Wow, that's a lot of information. All of that to say, hiring a coach is not for everyone, but if it is for you, do your homework. Figure out what you need and want from a coach, then do your research. Take your time. Find the right fit for you, and then be ready to achieve more than you ever thought possible. So please share your story. If you have a coach, let us know in the comment section below how you found them. If you have questions about finding a coach, leave those as well. But that's it from me today. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks everybody for watching. Get out there, go find your awesome, and maybe even your coach. We'll see you next time, and until then, happy running.